Hi, I'm MADISON. Welcome back. Thanks for choosing to spend some time with me today. In this video, I'm going to teach you something directly from my modern repertoire. This is a card trick called Controller, and it looks like this. A participant is handed a deck of playing cards and invited to shuffle them. The participant takes the playing cards and shuffles them thoroughly. The playing cards are then spread across a surface. The performer then quickly studies the shuffled playing cards. He then takes something to write on, something to write with. The performer then writes down a playing card. The information is placed aside. The participant is then invited to take the playing cards. The performer, with his hand held open, then invites the participant to deal playing cards one at a time into his hand. As the participant begins to deal playing cards into the performer's hand, they are invited to stop dealing playing cards at any given moment. Feel free to deal more playing cards into the pile. If you're happy, we will stop on this playing card. I am happy. The performer then takes his stopped at playing card and places it next to the note. The note is turned over to reveal the 9 of clubs. The participant is then invited to turn over the stopped at playing card. The participant turns over the playing card to reveal the 9 of clubs. He then responds accordingly. With all jokes aside, this is actually a serious trick that has made its way into my repertoire for over maybe the past 2 years. I know I was joking around with that video introduction, but this is actually a serious trick and quite a powerful trick if done correctly. In this video, I'm going to dedicate my time and share this time with you, teaching you how to do that trick, how to do it professionally, how to do it seriously, in the way that I do it, in the way that I perform it, the way that I execute it. There are a few different ways to achieve the ending, but it is the one method in this trick that I want to focus on, the actual method towards the end. Now, there are many different ways in sleight of hand that you can achieve the same thing. You know, writing down a prediction is such a dirty word, but writing down a prediction and then having them deal a playing card and the prediction turns out to be correct. It's a very age-old plot, but my idea to approach sleight of hand and trickery with playing cards, one thing that I'd like to incorporate into everything that I do is a very hands-off approach. The less that I touch the playing cards, the better. The less that the performer touches the playing cards, the more mysterious, the more magical it feels, the less control the magician has. So I'm going to teach you the serious side of this and all the mechanics and how to achieve what you just saw. This has become one of my favorite and one of my go-to card tricks. I'm MADISON and this is Controller. So I mentioned that this is a trick that came into my modern repertoire, and it was quite accidental, it was quite unintentional, but it was welcomed all the same. I was put under a little bit of pressure, somebody challenging me by shuffling the playing cards and asking me to find a specific playing card. And I kind of jammed and I kind of riffed, should I say, and made it turn into this thing that I ended up performing. The whole idea of taking yourself out of the situation so that you handle everything as least amount of times as possible makes it just such a magical experience. Now, there are a few different ways to achieve this, but essentially they're going to shuffle a deck of playing cards. You're going to then spread the cards, look in, and you're going to study and pick out one playing card and you're going to write that playing card down. Every single time you do this, it's going to be a different playing card that you write down. They're then going to take those playing cards and deal them face down one at a time into your hand, and wherever they call stop, that very card that they stop on will be the card that you wrote down on your note. Or that's how it should appear. That is the apparent play, that's apparently what's happening. What's really happening is something quite different, and the mechanics of it, the deception of it, the deceptive method, as always, I believe, is a beautiful thing to see. So I'm going to expose everything for you right now. The way that I do it as well allows me to cover my back from a certain from a few certain different angles, but we'll go over everything as we're going through it. We're going to start with the shuffling of the playing cards. So the participant shuffles the playing cards fairly. If they can, you're going to invite them to spread the cards just so that you can see each and every one of them, just like this. If they can't do it, obviously you do it the way that I do that. So I'll always take the deck like this and handle it very carefully, not in a silly way, not like the typical magician, oh look, my hands are empty kind of thing, but in a very conscious way to kind of subtly show them that I'm being fair. It's a difficult balance, it's a difficult way, it's a difficult thing to find, but as long as you're not going like this, as long as you're not really over exaggerating everything, you don't want it to look like you're doing something or hiding anything. You certainly don't want to handle that deck of playing cards like a magician. That's for a different video. So I will take the playing cards like this, gently, carefully, and I will spread, and now I can back off. I don't need to touch anything again just yet. The first method that I'm going to teach you is arguably the most difficult one. It's the most difficult one. What I'm looking for right here is the second playing card from the top of the deck, and in this case it is the 9 of clubs. So I've looked, I know what the second card from the top of the deck is. It's a 9 of clubs. That's the playing card that I'm going to write down on the back of this business card. This is also another one of those cute ways of handing out business cards. So I'm going to write down the 9 of clubs on the back of this note, but before I do that, I want to make it look like I'm studying these playing cards. I don't want to take too long, but I certainly don't want it to look like I just looked in that one area and wrote down a playing card. So I'm going to, as soon as these cards are spread, I'm going to clock the second card from the top. I'm going to remember it, and then I'm going to quickly scan, and then either I'm going to step back, step away, and ask the participant to collect and pick up the playing cards, or I'm going to do this, close everything and stand back and ask them to pick up the playing cards. Me, 9 times out of 10, unless I think that person really struggles holding playing cards or handling playing cards, I will allow them to do it. This just removes me one more level, and it invites them to handle the playing cards so much more. It's an uncomfortable thing to do for somebody who doesn't usually handle playing cards, actually collect them from this position. So when they do that, they're going to be messing them up like this and then picking them up, and all the while it feels like there's no control happening whatsoever. So at this point I will have written down the 9 of clubs. I will have written it down. Now what's interesting about this, we all know that the outcome of this trick is going to be the 9 of clubs. It will be the 9 of clubs. It has to be, because I've written it down. So that allows me to, it gives me the opportunity. I have a choice right now. If it's a big crowd, if there are more people, I can show them this. I can show them the 9 of clubs, but I'm not going to show the person that I'm doing the trick on. Now that's up to me, depends on the situation, you have to judge it yourself, but I can show people this. Now what that does is, it offers a certain clarity, a certain something, a certain mysterious extra level of magic, because right now I've made my mind up and there's no turning back, and they know this. Whereas if I didn't show anybody this, right up until the very end, there's an opportunity and there's a chance that this doesn't have anything written on it yet, or this could be switched right up until the very end. In some cases, I will even write this down, put it down, and then say, hold on, I want this to be as fair as possible. I'm going to leave this face up. You can see it says the 9 of clubs. You kind of got to feel it out, and you've got to, is this going to work for your repertoire, for your style of performance? For the sake of teaching this in this video, we're going to leave it face down, just the way that I did when I was messing around in that introduction. So right now the 9 of clubs is second from the top. Their instruction now is to take the deck of playing cards face down. I'm going to hold my hand out and invite them to start dealing playing cards into my hand one at a time, and stop at any point. When I do this, there's some very important aspects of body language that I need to focus on. I need to distance myself from my hand. I need to stand back from my hand so it doesn't look like, or so that it does look like I am removing myself from that specific situation as much as possible. I want to transmit a body language that looks like I'm trying to be removed as much as possible. So I'm going to stand back from my hand, I'm going to hold my hand out like this, and I'm not going to look when they're dealing. I'm not going to look. I'm going to make a point of not looking. I'm not going to cover my eyes or let them see the back of my head, but I'm certainly not going to look at the playing cards as they're being dealt. As long as they deal those first 2 cards fairly from the top of the deck into my hand, 1, 2, the Nine of Clubs is now in my hand, second from the bottom of the deck. Now it doesn't matter where they stop. If they stop here, then I can say, you stopped on this card, you only got rid of 1 playing card, what card is it? So the Nine of Clubs. If they stop here, it's a beautiful moment, it really is. Also, if they stop on a King of Diamonds in my specific deck, then there's a secret little trick that I can do with it, but that's for a different video. As long as I get the first 2 playing cards in my hands, then I'm good to go, because I now have the Nine of Clubs second from the bottom. So it doesn't matter where they stop. They can stop wherever they want at this point. For the sake of explanation, I'm going to put maybe half the deck into my hand. I know where the Nine of Clubs is. We know where it is. When they stop dealing, when they deal that last card, my hand is always quite open. I'm going to hold the packet like this, fingertip, thumb on the back, like this, just pinching the packet. And I'm going to say, of all these cards, you stopped here. Now what that does, that allows me to flash that bottom playing card. This is maybe me running before I'm being chased, but people who are as obsessed and obsessed with deception and with playing cards as much as I am will understand this and will see the importance of this. Even people who aren't as obsessed and people who are doing this trick, this version might be the hardest one to do, so you might find you're doing a different thing at this point. But for me, this is a beautiful moment. It's a very subtle moment where, by flashing that bottom card to them, I am preventing them from backtracking, from reverse engineering at a later point once the trick is finished. I'm preventing that. I'm putting a block in the way, and this is the block. The Nine of Clubs is underneath this card, so they can't see it. So I go like this, I say, out of all these playing cards, you want to stop on this card. Now, obviously the gesture is pretty big. I'm saying this card and I'm pointing to this card. It's not going to be this card. The method right now is I'm going to execute a Greek deal. Stop. There are other methods that I'm going to teach you where you don't have to do a Greek deal. We'll get the Greek deal part out of the way and then we'll get to it. I want to teach the most difficult version because of this beautiful moment where you can show them the bottom playing card. This for me is important, and it's an important part of deception and the deceptive practices with playing cards. The fact that I can implant this little moment here, this little action, so that they can't figure out at a later time how the trick was done. And we'll cover that when we get to it. Right now I'm going to execute a Greek deal, which means I'm going to deal the Nine of Clubs from underneath the bottom card, and it's going to look like it's coming from the top card. It's going to look like the top card, and the way that I deal it is like this. I take the card here and I turn these cards face up and put them down. So this looks like it was the top playing card. In fact, it's the Nine of Clubs from the second to bottom position in the deck, in the packet should I say. For me, that is the cleanest way. I won't repeat myself. So after executing the Greek deal, I now have the Nine of Clubs here. Looks like it was the top playing card. I put these playing cards face up, spread them out. So just for the sake of showing all the playing cards are different, and also for me to quickly look at, hopefully that moment is noted too, so that they know that I'm looking to see if I've done it right or not. You can also go a step further and take the rest of the playing cards off the participant, spread them face up, have a look, see if you've got it right. Then at this point, obviously you're clean, you're ready to go, because the Nine of Clubs is here, and you can invite them to have a look at what you wrote down on your notes, which is the Nine of Clubs, resulting in the final effect, Controller. Now, for people who don't know how to Greek deal, or are a little bit worried about the Greek deal, I teach the Greek deal on my website in a masterclass called the Greek Deal Masterclass, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. There are other ways, and we're going to look at them right now, starting with the bottom deal method. So I'm going to bring you in much closer for this explanation, but it's the same thing right up until that very moment. When they spread the playing cards, instead of the Greek deal method, this is the bottom deal method. We're going to look at the top playing card. Once they've shuffled, so they're shuffling the playing cards, when we get them back, or when they spread them face up, in this instance we want to look at, let me get the focus in here, we want to look at the top playing card. This is the playing card that we're going to write down. But for the sake of this explanation, I've put the 9 of clubs there so that I can write on the note 9 of clubs. Same as last time, same explanation. This time it's the top card of the deck. This time, the 9 of clubs, the card that we need, is on the very top of the deck. So, now we're back in that same situation, that same position. When they start dealing playing cards into our hands, if they stop here, then we are perfect. Any playing cards that they deal after this point, we're good to go because we have the 9 of clubs, and it's the same as before, the same explanation. But the only difference is at this point, I can't do this little thing that I like doing. I can't show them the bottom card now. In certain situations, maybe I might be a little bit cocky, arrogant enough to flash the bottom card to them either way, and they probably wouldn't even notice. That's quite a very arrogant thing to do, in fact, so that's a bad idea. But in this position, we have the 9 of clubs on the bottom of the deck, so all we need to do now, if you want to stop on this card, are you sure you want to stop on this card? Then we do a bottom deal. We execute a bottom deal to get the 9 of clubs out of this packet. In the same way, when you execute a bottom deal, this isn't a typical bottom deal, so you're not going to do it like a deal, like you're dealing a game of playing cards. We're going to do it in a very normal person kind of way. And one thing I like to do in these situations, in Magic performances, is instead of taking the 9 away from the bottom of this packet, we're going to take the packet away from the 9 of clubs. So finger 2 on my right hand is going to connect with the 9 of clubs, and thumb on the back. All the pressure is coming from finger 2 upwards. Now with my left hand, I almost forgot if this was my left or right hand then. With my left hand, I'm going to pull all the other playing cards away like this, leaving the 9 behind as I turn them face up, like so. So that looks like this. So it kind of looks like this was the top card, like I took it off the top. We can make that look more real by pushing that top playing card over. Like so, we can push this over as if we're going to take it. But then we end up with 9. Now, a really nice thing about this, a really deceiving thing about this, is the turn-in action itself, because it looks like the top playing card stayed where it was. The top playing card didn't actually move. My focus is a planet unto itself. It looks like that top playing card didn't move. Top playing card is here, 8 of hearts, like this. And again, if you struggle with the bottom deal, or if you're not confident enough to execute this trick without doing a bottom deal, then I teach it at my website in the bottom deal masterclass. That is the bottom deal method to achieve the card trick controller. There you go, there you have it, a card trick from my more recent repertoire. A trick that inadvertently, accidentally became quite a huge part of my repertoire. One of the things that I like to execute and perform earlier on in my performances. I am quite known for never shuffling my playing cards or never having them shuffled. But a huge part of my sets, not that I really have sets, but when I do perform, a huge part of it is the ending. Now the end of all my sets, almost every single one of them end with the deck back in brand new deck order. Now for that to happen and for that to have any kind of impact or achieve any kind of mystery, the deck, it is imperative that the deck is thoroughly shuffled throughout that set by me, by the participants, and also that it's seen shuffled, that it's seen mixed up. Then it makes it more impossible, more mysterious, more impactful when at the end I reveal that deck in brand new deck order. Search back on my channel, there's plenty of ideas that allow you to achieve that same thing. So this video for me, this is the start of something. This is the start of a direction I want to continue going in. The idea of sharing these ideas, no matter how simple and silly they might appear to me like this. When I thought about putting this trick controller on film to share with you, I thought, nah, it's not really good enough. But then I thought maybe it might inspire somebody, or it might stand out to somebody as a trick that they too can see in their repertoire the same way that I did. So let me know in the comment section. Use this comment section. I'm going to be sharing so much more of my repertoire. I keep saying this, can't take it all with me, and I don't want to die with my music still inside of me. I'm Daniel Madison. I'll be back soon to share more of my repertoire with you. See you next time.